Despite all this, it was claimed in 2019 that McSweeney told a meeting of LT MPs that all donations were being declared fully and promptly. This was reported by The Times, citing an unnamed source. McSweeney was responding to an unknown MP voicing concerns about the matter. Shabana Mahmood, who was present, would later write an article in February 2020 assuring people, "Our funding is registered on the Electoral Commission's website." Also published by the Conservatives was a leaked email on the 3rd of February 2021 between McSweeney and Gerald Shamash, LT's lawyer. This seemed to suggest McSweeney was claiming he didn't know the donations had to be declared. Shamash, however, appeared to question whether this angle could be sustained. Illustrating this with a series of salient questions the EC would ask, Shamash noted it appeared the Commission had informed McSweeney of his obligations. The legislation is clear that notwithstanding LT should have reported, the evidence from the EC was that LT as a members' association needed to continue to register. He also identified McSweeney had declared a few donations, which could be seen as weakening his claim of ignorance. It is further complicated in that you personally reported a donation in August 2018, possibly long after your conversation with the EC. You had initially reported and signed off donations, so presumably were aware at the time of the obligations as a members' association to report? How was decision not to report taken after your call to EC? With these factors in mind, Shamash wrote, "It may be better if LT cannot deal substantively with questions I pose, then perhaps best to simply base our case as to the non-reporting down as admin error." The email also shed light on the question of McSweeney's name being omitted. Unless you are able to help with the questions I pose below, we probably should not refer to you at all. If we assume the severe underreporting of donations was deliberate, why would McSweeney do this? During election periods, there are spending limits, so you would conceal the figure in order to spend more money than you are allowed to. For non-election periods, when there are no limits, it would be less understandable. The main reason to habitually do it would be to conceal the scale of your organization and its funding in order not to show your hand too soon. It would have alerted the incumbent Corbyn apparatus to the threat LT posed. They might have taken measures to undermine it, such as proscribing the group. In the admittedly partisan book, The Fraud, Paul Holden claims McSweeney wrote an internal report outlining this. McSweeney was clear in his briefing that the conspiracy to destroy Corbynism would have to be conducted in utmost secrecy. Indeed, McSweeney's analysis identified the discovery of the true work of the Labour Together project as one of the greatest threats it faced. Indeed, LT would not even publicly admit they had favoured Starmer until after he won the leadership election. Another reason for not declaring donations would be to hide the identity of donors if they embarrass you or if they don't want publicity. It seems LT were concerned about attracting attention towards the donor Trevor Chin because he was Jewish, very pro-Israel, and could be targeted by momentum. The leaked email from Shamash notes, "The directors/board wanted to be as transparent as possible, but were aware of the growing anti-Semitism in the party and sought to protect Trevor as donor and director." Anti-Semitic and anti-Israeli harassment is a concern, especially with the far left, but this can't stop due process and transparency being observed. Chin is a big, politically engaged businessman, and presumably is made of sterner stuff. There was also criticism over Starmer's reluctance to identify his donors during the leadership election, many of whom were the same ones filling LT's coffers. He refused to fully do so during the contest, only releasing them after the election. This was perfectly legal, but seemed shady, especially as other candidates made a point of declaring all theirs. On top of this, LT is accused of providing polling to Starmer's campaign, which was not declared to the EC. An LT co-founder also wrote his first speech as leader. The FOI material and the Shamash email reignited interest in the affair, and the Conservatives urged the EC to reopen the case. The EC said it would not. It stated it had found no evidence of any other potential offences. Who knows what monsters may lurk among the depths of the organisation that was instrumental in bringing Keir Starmer to power? If laws were broken in the name of this cause, along with the huge amounts of treasure, personal credibility, and effort spent, those that did so may well be wondering if it was really worth it. Project Starmer is tanking daily before our very eyes because they backed a complete dud.